Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Diego with my beautiful wife, Karina from
Venezuela.
Venezuela. Beautiful Venezuela. And we send our friends and our family in Venezuela, we send you muy grande abrazos para ti. Okay? We send you our best wishes. Hang in there. Hang in there. Now, this is your YouTube channel for green card processing, K1 visa processing, tourist visas, spousal visas like the CR1, the IR1. Now, I'm not an immigration attorney. I don't give you any legal advice. I don't work for USCIS. I don't work for any of those companies that charge you lots of money to process a very simple green card application or a K1 visa. Process is easy. It's not difficult. You just got to pay attention to details. That's all you got to do. And be patient. Number one, you got to be patient. Now, I've got almost pretty much close to 10 years experience doing this. I've helped hundreds of people all around the world get their green cards and their K1 visas. I've helped people fix problems which their immigration attorneys created for them. And I fixed these problems for these people for free. Okay? I want to see families get reunited. I don't want to see you separated. I know it's a difficult process. I know you don't like being apart from your loved ones, and I understand. I've been there and done that. I was in Florida for, a year. Karina was in Colombia. Then I flew to Colombia, and I stayed in Colombia for 2.5 years, back and forth. Got a Colombian cedula, which the Colombian government graciously let me have, so I could live in Colombia. But that was only temporary. Okay? So we know it's difficult. And Hannah, hi Diego, and hola Karina. Hola Karina, con Hannah.
Hola, Hannah. ¿Cómo estás?
And Karina says, how are you, Hannah? We hope you're doing well. We hope your family's doing well. Now, this is my second live stream. I did a live stream today around lunchtime, I think it was, just because you guys wanted to chit-chat and had more questions. But this is the official live stream with Karina. Okay, I do a live stream on Saturdays and Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Central Time. And then Larry Pierce, he said he wants me to do a live stream on Mondays. So if I am not overly busy, I will jump on the live stream on Mondays also. Hannah, go to East, go to the West. Diego is the best. Well, we want you to go to the East and the West on airplanes and to come to America so you guys can get married and get your life started. Okay? Franois is in the house. Franois Livingston with Hamid in upstate New York. Franois Livingston, good evening, Diego and Karina. How are you too? We are good. How are you and how is Hamid? How does Hamid like upstate New York? Have you explained to him how the government of New York works? Have you told him how messed up your government is and how they like to tax the living crap out of you? The New York government seems to think that they can spend your money better than you can. But that's just my opinion. I like messing with Francois, okay, because I live in Florida. And here in Florida, when I make some money, I get to keep most of it, but I do have to send some to Biden for his vacations every year. When I file my federal taxes, I got to send Biden some money so he can go on his vacation to Delaware. Now, when Trump was president, okay, when I paid my federal taxes, I didn't pay for Trump's vacations because Trump didn't accept a paycheck. When Trump was president, he worked for free. Well, they paid him a penny, I think, every quarter because by law they had to pay him something. So Trump basically worked for free for 4 years. Francois, Hamid likes New York for now. Well, that's good news. But wait till freaking January when it's freezing cold and 40 degrees below zero. I'm messing with you, Francois. Ahale. Good evening, Diego and Karina. Happy Saturday. Diego, we finally got an interview. Ajali. I knew you would. So that's going to be the first Mountain Dew, brand new bottle. I'm going to open it. Listen. Boom. That's for Ajali. She finally got the K1 visa interview. I knew you would. You just had to listen to me and keep doing what I said, right? And boom, you did all the work. I just gave you the guidance. Franois Livingston, big thank you for the timeline video of our journey. Yeah, there were some people that had a question about why you had to go to 2 visa interviews. So Hamid went to his K1 visa interview in Abu Dhabi, the beautiful country of Abu Dhabi. He went to his visa interview, and then the immigration officer said, well, Hamid, that's great, you're good, but seeing as your fiance, Francois, is coming over to Abu Dhabi in the next couple of days, let's do a second interview with her. And that was what they did. And then, boom, your visa got approved, Francois. Ajali, thank you for that super chat, Ajali. We knew you were going to get the K1. That's a Mountain Dew salute, by the way. We knew you were going to get it. But I understand when you don't have it scheduled, everybody gets like stressed out. They get nervous. I got to get my visa interview. I've been in those shoes. Okay, back in October of last year, I got on the computer at 5 o'clock, or was it 4:30 in the morning, to schedule Karina's visa interview in the U.S. Embassy in Bogota, Colombia. Mountain Dew salute, Ajali, for that super chat. You're keeping me in Mountain Dew so my voice doesn't dry up. And let's see here. Hold on. Oh, there you go. It's freaking winter time, all right? When it goes from summer to fall, I don't like cold weather. So my body says, hey, what's going on? It's not Miami, but it's Florida. In northern Florida, it gets cold. I don't like it. So I get kind of like sneezy and drizzly. Hannah, sorry for bothering Diego. It's no bother. Hannah, it's no bother about my questions. That's why we're here, to answer your questions. Regarding the I-765, okay, the work permit with the receipt starts with IOE. Is it possible to get approved in 2 months? Since I have to await my adjustment of status to get approved. 2 months, I don't think so. You'll be lucky at 3 months, okay? Now, that's now as of October 19th, 2024. But when you get to November and December, things may be speeding up, but not so much in December because it's Christmas. But the work permits come out of Corbin, Kentucky. But relax, okay? If you applied for a work permit, you'll get a work permit. You included it with your green card application, right? Which is very important. You don't file for your green card and then wait and then go, oh, I forgot to put my work permit in there. But if you do, let's suppose you file for your green card and you're looking around and you find your work permit application, you forgot to include it in the green card application. Whoopsie. But you paid for the work permit when you applied for the green card. So you wrote a check for the green card, the work permit, and the biometrics, but you forgot to include the work permit application in the green card. So what you do is you make a copy of the receipt where immigration received your green card application, and then you mail your work permit package off and include that receipt from where the immigration received your green card application, and that way they will process it like normal. But if you didn't pay for the work permit, if you plain forgot and didn't pay for it, okay, then you're done. Don't just wait for your green card, okay? Just wait for your green card. Francois, congratulations to Ajali. And Ajali says, thank you, Francois. And Francois, Ajali, now the fun begins. Now, once you got your K1 visa interview scheduled, the scary visa interview, right? You got it scheduled. Very good, Ajali. Now, make sure you bring all the documents to the K1 visa interview that's required. An original I-134 signed by the sponsor. Original, not a copy. Don't fill out an I-134 and go to Office Depot, make a copy. It's got to be an original, signed and dated, okay? What I did was I filled out the I-134 for Karina, signed it and dated it, put all of the financial documents in a bag, and I flew to Bogota, Colombia, and I gave all this information to Karina to take to her visa interview which was on November 16th of 2023 and in Bogota, Colombia. Okay. So what documents do you need for the financial documents? Do you need for the K1 visa interview, the I-134, tax transcripts, at least 3 years, 2 to 3 years, your 1040s, your W-2s, 12 months worth of bank statements, highlighting the deposits. Because what you're trying to do is prove to the immigration officer at the embassy that your income is sufficient, Mr. Sponsor, Ms. Sponsor. Remember, the beneficiary does not fill out the I-134. The beneficiary doesn't sign the I-134. The sponsor does. Douglas Olson, Social Security income, non-taxable dividends were turned down. So probably because it wasn't showing up on line 9 of your 1040. On line 9 of the 1040, your income tax return, that's what that's what they're looking at. They want to see taxable income, okay? And it's very unfortunate they don't accept it. Non-taxable dividends, missed my previous message. Let me see. Douglas Olson's previous message. Where is it? Douglas Olson, your first message was Social Security income, non-taxable dividends were turned down. I don't see this. I don't see your previous message because it's not here. It's invisible. Extraterrestrials came and took it. Because if it was in here in the live stream, Karina would be poking me in the arm telling me I got to read it. Because if I forget to read something, okay, I get told. Because Karina's the administrator, she runs this thing. I just give you the information, okay? But I don't want to miss your message, Douglas. So if you can repeat it, I will answer your question. A jolly to Francois. Yeah, you go. That's what I want to see. Happy, happy faces, okay? A jolly. So you go to the visa interview. You bring all your documents. You get the interview over with. Make sure you don't forget anything. And then you get on a plane once you get the visa and the passport and you come to the United States. Hannah, I included the I-765 with the green card application, the AOS, Adjustment of Status, and I paid all the fees and I got the receipts notice starting with IOE. Yeah, IOE just means it's an electronic file. So USCIS will create USCIS account number for me on that website to follow up on my case. Yeah, that's exactly what happens. But, you know, don't make yourself sick constantly looking online for your case. Excuse me. You're going to get a headache. Remember, when you filed for the K1 visa, were you constantly checking for your case? Were you checking? Did my NOA2 letter? Where's my NOA2 letter? I checked once a month when I filed for Karina's K1 visa back in April. Man, we're going back to April of 2023. 2022. Man, I'm losing track of time. I would check once a month for Karina's status on her K1 visa application. Okay? I'm like, okay. No, once a month I would check. And that was it. I wouldn't check every single day because if you do, you're going to get a headache. And you don't want to get a headache. Douglas, I'm the guy who received the RFE because USCIS does not accept non-taxable income like Social Security. I understand. I remember you posting that a while back, and then you submitted the RFE, right, with an explanation, didn't you? Don't you have properties that you rent to the post office, Douglas? Don't you rent like buildings to the post office? Nikita Ajani, hi Diego. My green card was approved in 60 freaking days. That's quick. Congratulations, Nikita. Then you put together a fantastic green card application. There's no doubt in my mind. Outstanding job, Nikita. Excellent work. Good job. See, if you work hard, if you're not lazy, if you put together good information and lots of evidence, immigration likes to see that. If immigration sees a lazy application, if they think you're being lazy on the application, but most people just don't know how to do it. They're not lazy. They just don't know how to do it. So they just put together what they think is what's correct, and they submit it, you know. But you got to put together a strong green card application with lots and lots of evidence of your relationship and living together and being married, being in a relationship. Douglas, our case was an IOE. It has now been transferred to a person at the National Benefits Center. No, don't be concerned about that. No, it went from electronic processing to a manual processing. So now a person's going to be touching your stuff. It went from a computer review to now a person touching your stuff. Okay, the National Benefits Center. Don't worry about it. You're good. It's all good. Nikita, thank you. You're welcome, Nikita. We are having a baby and included the evidence in the package. I think that's what made the approval quicker. Well, congratulations. Good job. A baby on the way. A bun in the oven. Douglas, National Benefits Center in Lee Smith, Missouri. Right, don't worry about it. They're going to look at it they're doing a manual review. And Franois Livingston, congratulations to Nikita. Absolutely. Hannah, what do you mean your statement strong package for green card to get approved quickly? Now, I didn't say it would get approved quickly. I said it would get approved without an RFE. Okay? But a strong green card application is tons and tons of evidence of you being in a relationship. Like, Karina and I, we dated for like 3 years before we got married, okay? So when Karina filed for her green card, she included pictures from back in 2021, 2022, family pictures. I was in Colombia in 2021. I went to Colombia like 3 times in 2021, 2 or 3 times. I was supposed to go for a 2-week vacation, and I ended up staying for 5 or 6 weeks. I think it was 5 weeks. And then I went back for 5 months. Then I maxed out my tourist visa, so I had to come back to the United States and then go back in 2022. But Karina put together a strong green card application. We had pictures from 21, 2022, 2023, and 2024, and a bunch of wedding pictures. Okay? We had 2 months worth of bank statements with Karina as a joint account holder. We had her on the trash bill, the water bill, all the services. Okay? We waited for 2 months. Those bills came in, and immigration can see, okay, Karina's been living here back in January to February. That's how they calculated how long she'd been here. Okay? We included a certified copy of the marriage certificate, not a photocopy, a certified copy from the courthouse with the wedding signature from the clerk of the court. There's a lot of things you got to pay attention to when you file for the green card. Most people make mistakes when they're filling out the affidavit of support. They can't figure out the family size. They mess it up all the time. 90% of all RFEs for green card applications regarding the affidavit of support is because you mess up the family size. Well, not you, but people. If you watch the videos I've made on how to put together an affidavit of support, Form 864, you won't mess it up. Because people mess it up all the time. You know? Hey, I got an RFE on my 864. Okay, let me guess. Family size. Yeah, I couldn't figure out my family size. Okay, family size is sponsor, beneficiary, sponsor's kids, beneficiary's kids. Children, not kids. Children. Let's suppose a sponsor has a child, and that's not a K1. That's not a K2. The sponsor has a child living in America. It's the child is an American citizen, but the baby or the child is a family member. And then you bring your K2 over, that person is a family member too. So if you're an American citizen, that's 1. The American citizen has a child, that's 2. Then your wife or husband is a beneficiary, that's 3. And she or he has a child, that's 4. So that's a family size of 4. That's the total number you're going to put on the affidavit of support is 4. But they mess you up because, number 1, the computer automatically generates a 1 as a family size. But it's not. So you get some white out, and you white out the 1, and you put in there whatever your family size is. And don't get confused on the affidavit of support when they ask you about, are you married? Are you married? You don't include that. You're going to just include what the beneficiary number is. Okay? You just have to watch the video. I can't explain it in this live stream, but you just got to watch the video so you don't get confused on the 864. Don't mess it up. Jose Apolinar Ramirez. Hi, Diego and Karina. Have a nice weekend. Buona fin settimana. Is correct, Espanol? I don't know what it is in Italian. That's in Spanish, right? It's in Espanol. Buona fin settimana. Have a nice weekend. Or is that Italiano?
Buen fin de semana.
Buen fin. What?
Buen fin de semana.
Yeah, right there. I used to be able to speak Italian, but I forgot most. I forgot most of it. I lived in Italy for 6 years. Kaur, we've been waiting 6 months for a work permit. Is it normal? No, that's too long. Can we work while the work permit is pending? No, you can't. Is it normal? You cannot work on the notice of action. You can only work in America with a work permit and or your green card and a social security number. You cannot work in the United States of America without a work permit and or green card. You can't do it. What happens is this. Okay, so you go get a job and you don't have a work permit. What's the first thing the employer is going to ask for? Your work permit, your green card, your alien number. Okay, well, I got my alien number. It's on my NOA-2 letter. On my NOA-2 letter is my alien number, and here's my social security number. So the employer says, okay, we'll go with that. And they hire you, and they put your alien number in the computer, and your social security number. And then when they make the first payment into the Social Security Administration for your FICA tax, it's going to come back as a mismatch because there's no record of you being approved by Homeland Security to work. 0 records. That's going to create an immigration problem. Do not work in America without a green card and or a work permit. Please listen to me, guys. Don't do that. You're going to get in trouble with immigration. They may, I don't know what they're going to do. They may stop you from getting your green card. Probably, maybe, I don't know. I can't answer that question. But I can tell you this, don't do it. Don't do it. Douglas, the USCIS needs to reprogram its computer. Well, I think they should accept that income. Okay? Douglas, they should accept that income. It's income coming into your family. And just because it's not taxable is irrelevant, right? You would think. You should be able to claim that. Immigration shouldn't be worried about whether it's taxable or not. They should be worried about how much money is coming into your house so you can support your family. That's what they should be concerned about. So if they're rejecting you because it's non-taxable, my recommendation would be to get a joint sponsor. Honestly, get a joint sponsor, okay? And then that will fix the problem right there. Then immigration will leave you alone. Franois Livingston watched one of your videos on the I-94 and printed about 10 of them. LOL. Francois, well, number one, I've made a video on how to do everything in a green card and a K-1 visa application. Mountain Dew salute to Francois. Good job. Top of the class. She printed 10 I-94s. That's good. That's good. You need one for the Social Security Administration office. Hamid needs to be carrying one around in his back pocket of proof of legal entry. He doesn't have a green card. He doesn't have a work permit. All he's got is a passport and his I-94. The K-1 visa is irrelevant. The K-1 visa has gone away. When you land in America, the K-1 visa is used one time. Okay? You use the K-1 visa one time to come to America as a non-immigrant visa. It's a non-immigrant visa. That's why you only have to meet 100% of the federal middle income requirements at the embassy. But when you get to America, you're filing for an immigrant visa or immigrant green card. That means you got to be at 125%. But while you're waiting for the green card, okay, you got to prove you're in America legally, which is the I-94. Don't worry if it times out. It's only good for 90 days, but don't worry if it times out. Don't worry about it. Just carry it around with you. Hamid needs to carry it around with him until, and everybody watching this show needs to get, if you got an I-94, you got to carry it with you. If you go to Walmart and you make sure you got your I-94 in your bag, okay? So that way you got yourself covered. Ajali, Diego, please remind me of this paperwork I need to send my fiance for the interview. Okay. I-134 original. Filled out and signed by the sponsor. You, the sponsor. Your I would say your last 3 years of tax returns, 1040s. Tax transcripts, last 3 years. Okay. Let me see here for the W-2s, your W-2s, 3 years worth of W-2s or 1099s. I don't get a W-2, I get a 1099. 1099s, okay? Which is basically, a 1099 basically is for self-employed people. Karina, in January, she's going to get a W-2 because she's working for a company. All right? She gets a W-2, I get a 1099. What other documents do we need to bring? For the K1 visa interview. Divorce decree, certified. I don't know if you have a divorce decree or not, but if you do, you got to get the original signed divorce decree. Photos, chats, when you were chatting with each other, send updated chats. The birth certificate, a big blown up color copy of your passport, biographic page, U.S. passport. Your U.S. passport needs to be a photocopy of the biographic page, blown up nice and big in color. Okay, so that immigration can see it. I remember Pete B, his beneficiary was in the Philippines, and he made a copy of his U.S. passport, and he was just a small copy. I mean, you need a microscope to read it. So he got a 221G to get a better picture of his passport. So it held up his case for about a week. He asked me, what do? I said, make a copy of your passport, blown up in color, nice and big, and send it to your beneficiary. Boom. And then she got her K1 visa. Make sure you got your birth certificates for your children. If you have a K2, the beneficiary's birth certificate, original and a copy of the original. Okay. What else I've made videos. I've also made videos on the documents that are required for the K1 visa interview. Let me see here. Hannah. So after the I-94 expires and I applied for the green card, what should I show, for example, to the authorities if they stop me? The I-94. If they ask you about your documents, you say, well, here's my I-94. I'm waiting for my green card. You're going to get a notification from immigration when they open up the box with your green card application. They're going to send you a document saying, they're going to send you a notice of action form. So the notice of action form plus your I-94, you put them together and you carry it with you. And that will cover you as in status. Even though the I-94 is going to expire by the time you get the green card, you're still in status. Okay? You're good. Karina's I-94 expired, but she got, after 90 days, let me see. So it was April, I believe, April 8th was when Karina's I-94 terminated, and she got her green card on June 25th. So she didn't have anything but her expired I-94 from April 8th to June 25th. But she just carried around the I-94 in her purse. It was all good. Let me see. And made a copy of a biographic page of her K1 visa and put it together with the I-94. And then she had her passport locked up in the house. She didn't carry her passport around, not the original. She just made a copy of her biographic page and the K1. Edeline Nunez. Me and my fiance are applying for a K1 visa. Very good. Congratulations. I'm from the Dominican Republic. He is from the United States. We had our NOA 1 July 15th, 2024, 3 months ago, but we haven't heard anything yet. I thought in 2024 the process will be faster. It's between 6 months to 9 months to get your NOA 2 letter. Edeline Nunez, I'm going to give you a Mountain Dew salute for a successful K1 visa applications so far. Mountain Dew salute. How long more do you think we have to wait? Well, let's see. July 15th is 3 months. I would say another 3 months. So we're in October, November. So by January of 2025, you should hear between now and January of 2025, you will, if not sooner, you should get your NOA 2 letter, assuming you didn't make any mistakes in the application. Okay? Which I'm sure you didn't. I'm sure you did a great, you put together a fantastic K1 visa package. But I would say the latest you will have to wait is by January of 2025. Okay? But congratulations, Adeline Nunez. Good job. Chris and Emma, my fiance's medical interview. Well, she's not having an interview. She is kind of technically, but it's a medical exam and an interview on Thursday coming up. Good job, Chris and Emma. Now remind everybody what country we're talking about here. Remind everybody what country we're talking about. I know the country. I know. There you go, in the Philippines. So she's going to go to St. Luke's Extension for her medical exam. Okay, St. Luke's Extension, not the hospital, the extension. Well, I'm sure you know that. And then after you get the K1 visa, don't forget the CFO. She has to go to a class. So the Philippine government has put together a class which helps Filipinos adjust for leaving the Philippines to come live in another country. Okay. Easy E, good afternoon, Diego and Karina. Easy E, what's going on? How's your family? Edlin Nunez, thank you. Con mucho gusto, no problema. Gracias, muy amable. Sí. Me alegra, yo ayuda en este proceso para ti. Es no difícil, es fácil, pero necesito paciencia. Mi español is okay, pero boom. Edelyn, gracias. Chris and Emil, thanks. The Philippines. Now, I've never been to the Philippines, but my friend lives in Dumaguete. He lives in Dumaguete. My friend lives in Dumaguete in the Philippines. He married a Filipina, and he's got a little baby. He didn't want to live in America. He didn't want to go through this crazy immigration process. So he went to the Philippines. He met a lovely lady. They got married, and he said the hardest part was finding somebody to marry him, because they're very strict in the Philippines about getting married. In the Philippines, once you get married, that's it. It's eternal. There's no divorce. It's a one-time, like Karina and I, it's a one-time thing. It's done. Okay? The Philippines are strict. You get married in the Philippines, you're married. There's no going back. So he got married, has a baby, and he lives in Dumaguete. I think that's the name of it, on the beach. So he's happy as a clam. He doesn't have to fill out a K1 visa. He doesn't have to fill out. Now, for him, it would be right now, he's been married longer than 2 years. It would be an IR1 visa, immigrant visa for a green card. But he's not doing it. He said, I'm not doing all this crazy immigration stuff. So he's living in the Philippines. Chris and Emil, sounds right. Yeah. Easy E, my family is doing great. Well, thank you. We're glad to hear that. And here is the Colombian hat. See the Colombian hat? We got a new cat. I don't know where she is. I got Karina a new cat called Vanny. Okay? And Vanny, she's just a little princess. She's just a little bundle of fluff, runs around the house, 2 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, she's tearing around the house. So I got Karina a little tiny little bundle of fluff, and the cat was born in Miami, and the lady that had him first took him. She moved, so she couldn't take care of her anymore. So we got the cat. I went and got the cat for Karina. So we got, now we got a new family member, Vinny. Easy, just hoping By end of this year, I will receive my NOA2 letter and off to the next step. Easy. Look, this is what I'm going to do, okay? It's time to bring out the Pixie Dust for Easy E, okay? The Pixie Dust is, and for Edlin Nunes, for your K1 visas, okay? And for anybody out there waiting for an NOA2 letter, this Pixie Dust works magic. And whenever I bring it out, NOA2 letters start showing up. And then you come onto the live stream and you tell me, hey, I got my NOA2 letter. So Easy E and Edlin, okay? And just hang in there, guys. And Ajali, good. I've made videos. If you go into the channel, you should be able to find the videos I've made on documents for the embassy. Okay? If you watch the videos, then you will not make any mistakes. Okay? We got caught when Karina went for her K1 visa interview in Bogota. They asked, we had everything perfect, 110% perfect. And then they said, well, we need an Interpol police certificate. And Karina said, what the heck is that? And then I said, well, I've never heard of such a thing. It's not on any website. It's nowhere. It was just something they said. She said, okay. So it took us an extra 4 weeks to get a freaking Interpol police certificate. All right. But we got it. And then Karina got her K1 visa. Angel Tate. Hi, Diego. We finally sent off the adjustment of status package. I'm not sure what the next steps are. Okay. You sent Angel. You sent off the green card application. Now what's going to happen is this. Number one, you're going to wait for the immigration folks to open up the box. They're going to pull out your green card application. They're going to say, man, this is a fantastic green card application. They must have been watching Diego's movies on green card applications. I guess I'm pretty famous at immigration. And they pull out the G1145. And they send you a text message with a receipt number, an IOE number more than likely, and say, okay, we cashed your check. We got your green card application, and then you're going to wait for a biometrics letter. Once they cash the check for the green card and the biometrics, Angel, they're going to send you a letter. You don't have to schedule the biometrics interview. Immigration does it. When you apply for the K1 visa, you have to, the sponsor or the beneficiary has to apply for the biometrics. When you apply for a green card, immigration schedules the biometrics. So Angel, you're going to wait for your biometrics letter. And when the letter comes in, it's going to say you have biometrics on this day, at this location, at this time, in this office, on this building somewhere. Karina, we live in Florida, but we had to drive to Louisiana for Karina's biometrics. So we got in a car and we drove to New Orleans. We stayed at the Holiday Inn, and the Holiday Inn is about a 2-minute walk from the immigration field office in New Orleans. So we drove to New Orleans. We spent the night. We woke up early. We had a big breakfast in the Holiday Inn, and then we went and walked across the crosswalk into the building on 1250 Poydras Street. I think it's 1250. We went up to the whatever floor it was. I can't remember, the 5th floor. Went through like a Homeland Security TSA checkpoint. Karina did her biometrics. When you go to your biometrics, Angel Tate, you must bring your marriage certificate, the letter of the biometrics appointment, the appointment letter that immigration sends you, and your passport to show who you are. This is a government ID. Okay? So when you go to biometrics, you bring, and this applies to Franois Livingston also. Franois, hopefully you're still watching. When you apply for the green card for with Hamid, right? When they cash the check, you're going to write a check. You're not going to use your credit card to pay for this freaking green card. You're going to write a check or get a cashier's check. And when they cash it, like 5 days or so later, you're going to get a letter with the biometrics interview. With Francois, she lives in upstate New York, so I don't know where you're going to go for the biometrics, but it's going to be in New York State somewhere. And Angel Tate, I don't know where you live, what state you live in, but we live in the panhandle of Florida. So we had to drive from Florida to Alabama to Mississippi to Louisiana. We spent the night in a hotel, went to the biometrics. We spent the day in New Orleans, and then drove back that night. Okay. And we stopped off at some great little restaurants. We stopped off at a nice little restaurant in Mississippi. I think, what was it? Did we stay at a Dairy Queen? I think we stopped off at a Dairy Queen in Mississippi, Diamond Head, Mississippi. And we had a great chicken, whatever it was. Karina's like, I never had this before. So Karina got to visit Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana. And we're not done. So there's 50 states, so that's 4 she's been to. So there's 46 to go. Let me see. So the next step, Angel Tate, is to wait for them to cash the check and send you a receipt notice with your IOE number and send you a letter telling you where to go for your biometrics, the date of the biometrics, the location, and the time. You bring the appointment letter with you to the biometrics with your passport and your marriage certificate. Okay? You got it? That's how it works. So, Angel, what you're going to be doing now is you're going to be waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting just for that part. But once you get the biometrics done, you do the fingerprints, they take your picture, and then they want your signature. Okay? Once the biometrics are done, that's when your green card application kicks in. Okay? Chris and Emil, my fiance, will arrive on November 24th, interview November 5th. Well, we're going to give you a Mountain Dew salute, Chris and Emil. Okay? That's a Mountain Dew salute. So my fiance will arrive on November 24th. The interview is on November 5th. So we're going to put lots of pixie dust all over that interview. Now, can you see Karina? Can you see her face? Because she turned the light, okay? Because it was blinding her face. Because it's so hot. Now, we got a light right here. We got lights right here. I just want to make sure you can see Karina. Chris and Emil, thank you. I have to go over the questions. Okay, let's go over some scary K1 Visa Embassy interview questions. Let's do some questions. Okay, Chris and Emil, I'm the consular officer, and there's a big piece of glass between us. There's a phone. You're on this side. I'm on this side. And there's a big piece of glass, and you're on the phone. And I'm going to talk to him and say, well, what is your sponsor's job? What does he do? Huh? Well, first, Karina said, first they're going to organize all the documents. So you're going to walk into the embassy. There's going to be a big table, and they're going to organize all the documents. So they're going to make sure you got all the stuff you're supposed to have for your K1 visa interview. Birth certificate, police certificates, divorce decrees, I-134, financial documents, tax returns, etc. Pictures. They want to make sure you got all your stuff together. Once they've organized it, then you're going to go and they're going to ask you questions. And I say, okay, I'm the consular officer. I say, okay, what job do you have, Mr. Sponsor, Miss Sponsor? I'm asking the beneficiary, what job does your husband do? What does he do? What job does he do? How much money does he make? How did you meet each other? How did your relationship start? Does your sponsor have any brothers and sisters? What is your address, Miss Beneficiary? When you get to America, where are you going to live? What is your address? Make sure your beneficiary knows where she's going to live in America, or him. Okay, this applies to Francois also. Make sure Hamid knows what his address is in New York. Okay, for the green card application, that's assuming that you get another interview, but you're not going to get another interview. If you watch the videos I've made on how to put a green card package together, the chances are you are not going to have another visa interview. Chris and Emil, did you make a video for it so she will have all the paperwork needs? I've made videos. I made a video on what questions Karina was asked at her scary K1 visa interview. I made videos on what paperwork to bring to the scary K1 visa interview. I have made a video to cover every single base in this K1 visa process. You just got to find it. You just click into the channel and type in, like K1 visa or documents for the embassy, etc., and you'll find the videos. The answer to yes, I have made videos on how to do that. Joe Nadi. Hi Diego, hi Karina. Do I need to submit my original marriage certificate for the AOS and work permit, or can I submit a photocopy? No, you cannot put a photocopy in the green card application. Okay, and you don't have to put the marriage certificate with the work permit. You put the work permit in with the green card application, which includes the certified copy of the marriage certificate. I'm going to write it right here. Okay, for a green card application, you got to have certified copy of marriage certificate signed by the clerk of the court. Boom. Certified copy of the marriage certificate signed by the clerk of the court. So when you go to the clerk of the court, you want to have at least 5 certified copies of your marriage certificate. Get 5 copies certified by the clerk of the court. Is going to print the copy, and he or she's going to stamp it and sign it with a black ink pen to say this is a certified copy. Get 5. You get the first one, you pay for the first one, you get the second one for free, hopefully, in Florida you do, and then pay for 3 more. So you got 5 certified copies of your marriage certificate. Why do I say get 5 certified copies? Why 5? You get 1, which is the original certified copy that goes in your I Love Me drawer, right? For your wedding, your documents, your family documents. You get the second one for the green card application for your 2-year green card application. You get the third one for the 10-year green card application. You get the 4th one when you apply for U.S. citizenship. And then you got a spare, right? When you apply for your 2-year green card, you're going to put a certified copy of your marriage certificate in that green card application, not a copy from Office Depot. You cannot go to Office Depot, El Cheapo, with your certified copy of your marriage certificate. Go to an Office Depot, make a copy of it. Immigration will not accept it. Get 5 certified copies. I think it was like $20 a piece. I got my first one was $20. The second one was free. They gave me an extra, and then I get 3 more. So I paid for 4. It cost me $80. Okay. But I got down here, I have got certified copies of our marriage certificate. So when Karina applies for her 10-year green card, down here I got a certified copy of the marriage certificate. Because when you send in the certified copy of the marriage certificate for your green card application for your 2-year green card, they're going to scan the document and then they're going to shred it. You don't get this stuff back. It's gone. It's no longer. It's no longer. It's history. So you got to have a certified original marriage certificate for your 10-year green card, which you do when you lift the conditions off your 2-year green card 90 days before it expires. You're going to lift the conditions off of it and apply for a 10-year green card. What are you going to include in the 10-year green card application? What goes in the 10-year green card application? Everything that you put in your 2-year green card application, plus whatever you've done between when you got married to when you applied for your 10-year green card. So you're going to add 2 more years of your relationship in the 10-year green card application. So what do? You just got married. You haven't even filed for your 2-year green card yet. But what you need to do is start planning for your 10-year green card right now. You just landed in America. Okay, you're shaking the dust off. You just like, man, look at the beautiful country, United States, our constitutional republic, a beautiful place to be, right? Start putting your evidence together for your 10-year green card. Whatever you apply for in your 2-year green card goes in your 10-year green card plus 2 more years. So you want to make sure you keep taking pictures together with family and friends. You want to make sure that your wife or husband is on the bank statements and you keep collecting them. Okay? Because when you go for your 10-year green card, they're going to want to see joint tax returns. In January of 2025, when I get my 1099, Karina gets her W-2, I'm going to file my taxes in January. Our taxes, nosotras. Normally, I would file in April. All right? I'd make the freaking government wait for our dinero, for our efectivo. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to file it in January, so I got it done. It's over with. Then I got time to get the tax transcript. Okay? And then in 2026, in January, I'll apply again. We'll file together again our taxes. So I'll have 2 tax returns with our names on it for Karina's 10-year green card application. They want to see at least 2 years worth of tax returns for your 10-year green card application. In the green, when you file for the 10-year green card, they're looking for at least 2 tax returns with your names on it together as a joint applicant. You understand what I'm telling you, right? I'm trying to help you guys now so you don't get any surprises in the future. Raymond Wade, good evening, Diego and Karina. We are filling out the I-485, the adjustment of status for AOS. On the additional information page, do we need to put my spouse's married name? No, you do. You put that on page 1 of the 485. Look right here. Here's the 485, right? Let me find it. So that way I can unconfuse you. Okay? I don't want you to get confused. It's a bit, I've been using this form for quite a while now, but this is page 1 of the 485. Right? You see that, right? Now, right here, this is where you put your new wife's name, right here. And then right here, let me do it this way. Right here is where you put your wife's new name, Karina Ross. Right here is where you put your wife's maiden name before she got married. Karina, maiden name. Okay? My spouse. Yeah, she's your spouse. You got married. When you fill out Form 485 on page 1 of 20, right here, Karina put her name, Karina Ross, and her middle name. This is her name right now. This is her name. She got married to me. She took my name. On page 1 of the 485, right here, she put Karina, middle name Ross. Right here, she put Karina, middle name, maiden name. So this is where immigration can see her name in her passport. And this is where they can see that she is now married to me. And this is the name she took. And then when the green card comes in, it came in with Karina Ross. That's how it works. You don't have to put anything in the remarks part, as long as you do what I said. Brownie, RSPS. Hello, Diego and Karina. My petition was received by the National Visa Center, so just a little bit longer. Let's put some pixie dust all over that. Brownie. Look, pixie dust. National Visa Center has it. Now they're going to wait for the embassy to get on busy so they can send your visa application off to the embassy. Mountain Dew salute. Brownie RSPS. Reply s'il vous plaît. That's what RSPS is, right? S'il vous plaît is French. Raymond, got it. Thank you, Diego. Perfect. You got it. That's easy peasy, guys. Francois, easy eater Francois, how was everything? Francois spent hours putting the interview folders together for the interview and took so much paperwork with us, the consular hardly took the papers. What the consular was interested in and read was the 7 letters that my friends wrote for me. You never know. Now, I'm not Nostradamus, but if I was Nostradamus, I could tell you what immigration's going to look at. But the secret to a successful K-1 visa interview, besides knowing everything about each other, okay, is to bring all the documents that you can possibly fit in your bag. And then if immigration asks for them, you got them. If immigration don't ask for them, you still got them. And you got less to pull out of your freaking bag, right? Bring everything you can bring with you to the visa interview to justify your relationship, to prove it. You are going in front of a judge. Just pretend a consular officer is a judge and you're on trial for your life, but you didn't do anything wrong other than you want to get married. You got to prove it. You got to prove it. Okay? You got to prove it. Evidence, evidence, evidence. Chris and Emil, 17 more days till voting day. I'm voting on Monday. Early voting in Florida starts on Monday. Okay, lunes, 21. 21 lunes, October 21 is temprano elección. I'm going to go vote early. I'm going to bring Karina with me. Now, Karina can't vote. She's not a U.S. citizen, but she's going to watch me vote, and she's going to learn the process. She's going to see how it works. She's going to learn how does the election process work in America. Well, I want to take it by the hand, and we're going to go do it. But I'm going to be voting. She can't. Karina can't. But she's going to learn how to do this. Francois, easy, all is well. Wedding in 2 weeks. Come on, Francois. Come on, get that wedding. Get it. Jay Baxter, hello to the Ross family. So my fiance got her K1 visa in the mail. Everything is correct. Now just waiting for my flight to go pick her up and bring her back in the end of November. So my fiance got her K1 visa in the mail. Okay, so did you got Jay Baxter? It sounds like you went through a spousal visa, from what you're telling me. Brownie RSPS, just don't ever lie in your K1 interview. The officer isn't stupid. Never tell a lie, ever, to a consular officer at a K1 visa interview. Never lie. Never make up any stories. If the consular officer asks you a question and you don't know the freaking answer, say, I don't know. Don't make up a bumbling story, because they will know if you're making stuff up. And then a red flag goes up on their little freaking thing, and then you're going to have a hard time getting the visa. Jay Baxter, congratulating Francois. Francois, thank you, Jay Baxter. How are things with you? Didn't watch the live stream when I was overseas because of the 8-hour difference between the United States and the United Arab Emirates. And Francois, we were not expecting you to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to do a live stream. You're busy trying to get through 120-degree heat in the UAE. Easy E, that's great news. I'm happy for you and your future husband. Hamid, Jay Baxter, yes, the K1 pastor interview in September. Got a visa this month, and we plan to get married in December or January. Jay Baxter, if you get married in December, then you can claim your spouse on your 2024 tax return in January. If you get married in January, you cannot claim your spouse on your 2024 tax return, and you will be filing as a single filer. If you can get married in December, I highly recommend you get married in December so you can file a joint tax return with your spouse in 2025 between January 1st and April 15th. Listen to me, Jay Baxter. Tell me you heard what I said. I'm trying to put more money in your pocket and not in Biden's vacation kitty, okay? I don't want to put any more money in Biden's kitty fund than I can. If you can get married in December, you can file for your taxes together, by, let's say, April of 2025. And it makes it more stronger for your 10-year green card application. Can you file for a joint without her having a social security number? You get to America, you print the I-94, you get her K1 visa, you get the I-94, you scoot down to the Social Security office, you apply for her Social Security number, The Social Security number will be mailed to your house from Baltimore, Maryland in about 10 days. Then you file your taxes with the Social Security number as a joint family member. You cannot file taxes without a Social Security number, okay? You can't do that. And don't fall into the trap where you can file for this temporary number, which illegal immigrants use to file their taxes. I can't remember what it's called. You can't use that on a K-1 visa. So you get to America, you scoot down to the Social Security office with the I-94 and the passport, file for the Social Security card. It comes in the mail. Okay, it's going to say cannot work without authorization by Homeland Security, blah, blah, blah. It's going to come in with your wife's maiden name on it. Don't worry about it. All you're wanting to get right now is the Social Security number. When you have it, then you file your taxes. So your first mission in life is get married in December and then scoot down to the Social Security Administration and file for the Social Security card. Then you can file your taxes together in January or February or March or whatever. Chris and Emil, how much is the credit for the marriage to file taxes? Well, it's like you pay like half, I think it is. You don't pay. Biden ripped me off big time. I don't know. I made Biden's car payment for the next 6 months when I filed my taxes in January of 2024. But I couldn't put Karina as a joint. I couldn't put her on there because we got married in January. And why did we get married in January? Because we got stuck in Colombia because of this stupid Interpol police certificate. So the Interpol police certificate made me. It doubled the price. It means I had to stay in Colombia until January. We should have left in November. We could have got married in December. I would have saved $1,000 in plane fares because the plane tickets tripled in price during Christmas week and New Year's, and I couldn't file as a joint couple. So that Interpol police certificate probably cost me lots and lots of freaking dinero. Okay. So from that experience, when I pulled all the knives out of my back from immigration and from the IRS, okay, if you can get married in December, get it done. But it's past. No, it's history. It's all history. This is just lesson learned for you guys. Hannah, is Karina happy living in the United States? ¿Te gusta Estados Unidos? Karina loves it here. She doesn't like the hot weather. In June, July, she was hot. Okay? It was hot. But she loves being in America. She loves working. She got, what she's doing. She loves her job. She loves being able to drive on a freeway without a million motorcycles running her off the road like in Bogota. If you drive in Bogota, you're taking your life in your hands. She's not afraid of the people. She can walk around the neighborhood. She's not fearful of anything. She loves it. Chris and Emil, how much is the credit for marriage to file taxes? I'm not a CPA. I don't know the credit, but it's less. You pay less taxes. Okay. Nancy Pelosi gets less money from you if you file as a joint instead of a single filer. Jay Baxter, thank you. Okay, you're good. Franois Livingston, Diego, only reason the wedding is in 2 weeks so my very best friend can be there. She was my great support in town while Diego and Karina were my support online. Well, that's good, Francois. But you want to get married in 2024. Don't wait till January of 2025. Get married before 2024 goes away. Okay? So that way you can file your taxes together in January, February, March, or April, which is a nice savings for you and less money for Biden and Nancy Pelosi, right? Now, I'm not saying Trump's name because Trump worked for free. When Trump was president, he didn't take a paycheck. So when I paid my federal taxes when Trump was in office, I didn't fund anything of his. He funded it himself from his entrepreneurial, capitalistic, free market enterprise spirit, building hotels, etc. Francois, can't wait till 2025. Hamid's visa expires January 5th, 2025. Come on now, Francois. And then Ajali, Francois, where is the wedding? Donde es la boda? Yeah, where's the wedding, Francois? Yeah. We know it's going to be in upstate New York somewhere, right? So we know you're going to be wearing 3 layers of clothes because it's so cold, right? Look at all this paperwork. And she said it's going to be in upstate New York. Well, we know that, Francois. We got married on Navarre Beach. And Captain Bill was our wedding guy. Captain Bill, he was a boat captain. He was a charter boat captain with a wedding license thing, whatever. And we got married on the beach. And I was a real estate agent. I'm not now. I let my freaking license go away. But I just put a word out on the street to my realtor friends. Hey, I'm getting married. I need for you to be there. And half the beach was filled up with real estate agents. And I got lots of pictures of our wedding together. And Captain Bill was in his captain's uniform when he was a charter boat captain. And we had a fantastic wedding. And we took lots of pictures with all my real estate friends. And my brother was there. And my nephew was there. Lots of people showed up. And Karina and Karina's friend, our friend from Venezuela, was the translator. She was there. She translated the whole wedding. You know, Captain Bill would say something, and then our friend would translate it for Karina. It was a great day. And then after the wedding, we took lots of pictures. Okay, now my brother, he took pictures too, but I'm still waiting for those. But we all went to a Mexican restaurant. I paid for everybody's lunch. All my real estate friends knew that I was paying. Okay, so we went to this Mexican restaurant, and guess what? I kept the receipt from the lunch, from the wedding lunch, and that went in the green card application. And what was so nice about it was that the waitress and the waiter, the persons that were helping us with all these people with this big Mexican dinner, this lunch, they signed the receipt, wishing us the best of luck with our future lives together. The persons that greeted us at the restaurant. Well, I made a copy of that and then I took lots of pictures of us, you know, with group pictures of all my friends and all of Karina's new friends. That went into the green card application. Okay. Then I had a little book. I bought a little book, and I had everybody put their whatever they wanted to say about our wedding in the book. So my brother wrote his, my nephew wrote his, and our friends, they all wrote their little stuff in the book, the wedding book, and their names, and they signed and dated it. I made copies of those notes and notations. That went in the green card application. All the little details. I didn't miss a freaking thing. Okay. Andre Welconi, Diego, can you explain what happens when my fiance arrives in the United States airport? Is there another interview, or they just check in the documents? Depends on the Border Patrol. Andre, the plane lands wherever, I don't know what airport you're going to land in. Let's say we landed in Miami International. Okay. The plane lands. The Border Patrol officer will either ask questions or they won't ask questions of your beneficiary. If you land in New Jersey, okay, I think it's like, they put you, it's like I would avoid flying into New Jersey if you're on a K-1 visa. Do not land in New frickin' Jersey. Because the immigration there are just, I don't know. But you're going to land in Seattle, in Washington State. Okay, you land in Seattle. You're going to need to allow for about 2 hours to go through immigration. Are you going to be flying together? I accompanied Karina into Miami Airport from Bogota, Colombia. I took her by the hand and walked her through the U.S. citizenship line. When you arrive in the United States with a K-1 visa applicant, you bring him or her through the U.S. citizenship line. You're going to come into immigration. It's going to say green card holders this way, U.S. citizens this way. You're going to go this way into U.S. citizen line. You get to the Border Patrol checkpoint. U.S. citizen goes first. Here's my passport. Sir, This is my fiance, Karina. She's arriving in the United States on a K1 visa. Okay? She's arriving on a K1 visa. She's going to need a Border Patrol interview for entering the United States so she can get her I-94. Okay. So the Border Patrol officer called another Border Patrol officer. He came over and took us to this big office place in Miami. We walked in. I sat down. Karina sat down. We waited our turn, and then they called her name up. And she walked up. She gave the package of stuff that was all sealed up and secured. They opened it up. They took it out. They processed her passport. They checked the K1 visa number with the number in their computer. Everything matched up. There was no fraud activity. And they said, welcome to the United States. It's not difficult, okay? It's not difficult. Andre, my commander denied my leave, so she flies alone. Okay, if she's flying alone, you want to tell her to go to the U.S. citizenship line, not the green card line. She doesn't have a green card. She's going to land in Seattle, go through immigration, go to the U.S. citizenship line, present her passport from whatever country she's coming from, and explain to the Border Patrol officer, I'm here on a K1 visa. I need to check in with the Border Patrol. They will take her and check her in. Okay. They will issue her an I-94. The I-94 cancels out the K1 visa. The K1 visa goes away. The I-94 is now in play. You got to get 90 days to get married. The FedEx man. I have arrived. The FedEx man. Let's give the FedEx man a Mountain Dew salute. Franois Livingston. Wedding is going to be in a religious building with a small group of friends. Then take everyone out to dinner. My best friend who has a photography business is going to take the wedding pics for us. Now, Francois, when you go out to dinner, get that receipt from the wedding dinner, make a copy of it and include it in the green card application with a list of names of all the people, all your wedding guests. List all the wedding guests. Okay? Francois, if it was summer, we would have liked to get married on the beach. I can understand that, but it's going to get nippy in New York. No, Francois, it's not going to get nippy in New York. It's going to get freaking freezing cold. There's a difference between nippy and freezing cold. You're in upstate New York, okay? Whenever it snows in upstate New York, your governor taxes every single snowflake that comes down. What is it? 2 cents per snowflake? It gets cold, Francois. You're going to get cold. Andre, my commander denied my leave. She flies alone. It's all good. When she gets to America, have her go through the U.S. citizenship line and ask for a Border Patrol interview. And then she gets an I-94. Easy E to Andre. Make sure you tell her to keep those visa documents with her at all times. That's correct. Do not check them in her checked luggage. That's correct. You get your K1 visa package. You bring it on the plane as carry-on. Don't check it. Okay? And don't fly Delta Airlines either. Just my opinion. Don't fly on Delta Airlines. Every time I flew on Delta in the past, it was a freaking nightmare. Okay? American Airlines, Avianca, Southwest, United, never had a problem. Delta Airlines, I would not recommend flying on that freaking company. I mean, but if you like Delta, go right ahead and fly with Delta. If you don't mind getting planes breaking down, can't find a pilot, can't find a flight crew, the plane's too heavy, they got to move some cargo off of it. They got to refuel. Stay away from Delta. Just my opinion. But you fly with whatever airline you want, okay? Let me see here. Chris and Emil to Francois. Good luck for Yankees game tonight. There you go. Hannah. Hi, Diego. Again, regarding the I-75 work permit, while I will be waiting for the green card to get approved, how long will be valid if it gets approved? The work permit, once it's approved, is good for 5 years. 5 años, 5 years. Franois Livingston, tell me again why in our case, Homeland Security did everything at the airport in the UAE. I asked the border officer, do we need to do anything once in New York? He answers, yeah, go home. Okay, Francois, here's the secret to a successful entry into the United States. Don't ask questions unless you get asked a question. Don't ask questions at the Border Patrol unless they ask you a question. Don't give them ammunition to play with, okay? Don't do that. Everybody watching this, when you get to America and you check in with the Border Patrol, you don't say nothing unless they ask you a question. If they ask you a question, you answer the question. If they don't ask you a question, you don't ask them questions. You don't do, no, just like that. Francois, not a Yankee fan. Okay. Joe Nadi. Hi, Diego. Do you have to explain why you don't have a joint lease with your spouse to immigration during the green card application? If you don't, you need to explain why you don't. Because you got to be cohabitating together. I keep blocking the light here for Karina. It's me. It's me. There we go. Listen. When you apply for your green card, you got to prove that you guys are in joint habitation. You're living together. You're commingling funds. You got to prove it. And let's suppose you live with mom and dad. That's okay. Then you have mom and dad write a letter, or grandma or grandpa, whoever, and explain the living conditions. Yes, we live together with grandma. I'm the grandma. We live together. But that's the reason why they're not on the lease to the house or the deed, because they're living with grandma or with mom and dad. You got to explain it. Let's see. Chris Nemmel is laughing at Francois. Andre Welconi. She arrives here on the 29th at 14:30. So 2:30 in the afternoon in Seattle, in Washington. Now, Andre, be advised. Tell your fiance to buy an umbrella at the airport, because it's going to be raining if she's landed in Seattle. There is no doubt in my mind it's going to be raining on the day she arrives. Hannah, what does it mean, the status for the I-765 on the USIS means approval case decision rendered? Do I have biometrics for the I-765 before the approval? You're going to be doing biometrics before you get the work permit and or the green card. The first thing immigration is going to do is do a biometrics on you. Okay? Then when that's done, then the work permit's going to show up, and then after that, the green card's going to show up. Julian ALO. Hello, Diego. I received my RFE on 25th of July, 2024. I responded on the 13th of August, 2024 for my adjustment of status. Up to now, we're still waiting and waiting. Okay, Julian? Immigration hasn't forgotten about you. Okay? If they had denied you your green card, they would have told you already. So you're okay. As long as they haven't told you no, you're just basically hanging out, waiting for them to get on busy to process your green card, okay? August, September, October, a couple more months. Yeah, you got to give them more time. You're okay. Relax. Julian, you're good. Andre, you think they can call me during the interview while I'm waiting at the airport? No, immigration's not going to call you. If you're waiting at the airport, immigration's not going to call you. But your wife can call you once she gets done with the immigration interview. If they even ask her any questions, they might just wave her in, open up the box, take out the stuff, put the I-94 in the passport, maybe not, but she's going to get an I-94 generated in the computer. Just relax. When the plane lands and you can take it off of airplane mode, she can call you. Hey, I landed. I'm in Seattle. It's raining. I can see all the raindrops on the windows of the airplane. The runway's covered in water. The guy with this is wearing a orange water-resistant jacket. She can call you. You're good. But immigration's not going to call you. Francois, sorry, Diego, but I was kind of nervous. You're good, Francois. Ranika Kendall, hey, Diego and Karina. Been a while. How is the driving going for Karina? Karina has her Florida driver's license. She passed the written test the first time. She passed the driving test the first time. Okay? Karina's smart. She got a degree in tax accounting. You know, a driver's test was a simple exam for her. She just went in there and aced the test and got her test out of the way. And then they did the driver's part. And she got her driver's license. But she couldn't do that without her green card and her social security number. In Florida, you cannot get a driver's license without a green card or a social security number. If you're here on a work permit, you can get a driver's license for a temporary driver's license to go in with your work permit. But my advice is this: wait for your freaking green card before you get a driver's license. And don't drive in the United States without a United States driver's license. Don't do that. Don't drive on your, if I've got a driver's license from Italy, I've got a driver's license from England, I got my Florida driver's license. When I lived in Colombia as a tourist, I could drive in Colombia on my Florida driver's license as a tourist. But when I was living in Colombia on a scheduler, I wasn't allowed to drive in Colombia unless I had a Colombian driver's license. There is no way on the planet I'm going to get a Colombian driver's license. I got an Italian one, I got a British one. I had an opportunity to get a Colombian one. But you can forget about it. Have you seen how they drive in Bogota? Huh? Have you been to Bogota? Have you seen how they drive there? I don't know how they do it. Andre, were you stationed in Sigonella, Italy? I was stationed in Sigonella at NAS 2, yes, for 3 years. Let me see. Francois, I'll make sure I don't miss anybody. Andre Welkeny, do we need the I-94 to apply for a marriage license? No, you don't. You just need a passport. But it depends on where do you live? What state do you live in? Because some states require you to have a social security number before you can get a marriage license. There are 12 states in the United States. There's 50 states in America. Out of the 50 states, 12 states require a social security number to get a marriage license. The other states, they only require you to have a government ID. And a government ID was Karina's Venezuelan passport. That's a government issued ID. So she just showed her passport. Does New York require a social security number to get a marriage license? No. New Jersey does, but not New York. In New York, just go in there with Hamid's passport, and then you're good. Let me see here. Joel. Hi, Diego. Do you explain why your wife doesn't have your last name yet to immigration during adjustment of status? There's nothing to explain. When you get married, okay, when Karina got married, on the marriage certificate, it had Karina's maiden name, not her married name. But when you fill out Form 485 on page 1 for the adjustment of status, I don't want to block Karina, right here is Karina Ross. That's where she put her name, Karina Ross. Right here, she put Karina maiden name. So this was where, on page 1 of Form 485, this block right here is where Karina changed her last name to my last name. And this is where she explained that her last name before she got married. It's on page 1 of 485. It's so easy, a caveman can do it. Francois, how about a certified copy of the divorce decree? Must be a certified copy of the divorce decree from the clerk of the court when you file for the green card. Very important, Francois. So Joel says, do you explain why your wife doesn't have your last name yet to immigration during adjustment of status? No, you don't explain nothing. You just fill out page 1 of the I-485, and that's where you change the last name. There's nothing to explain. Francois, how about a certified divorce decree? Yes. Does New York require a social security number for a marriage license? No, it does not. And Andre, Welcome, Washington State, stationed at Fort Lewis. Well, there's a Mountain Dew salute right there. Fort Lewis. Thank you for your service. Francois, I was asking for the marriage license, Diego. No, you don't need a social security number to get the marriage license. You don't need a social security number to get the marriage license in New York City, New York, in upstate New York, in the People's Republic of New York. You don't need a social security number to get a marriage license. But you do if you live in New Jersey. But you don't live in New Jersey. You could be close to New Jersey. You can see New Jersey from New York. But you don't need a social security number, Francois, to get a marriage license in New York State. So you're good. Chris Nemo, Karina getting hungry. ¿Tú tienes hambre? No, she's good. What dinner are you going to have tonight? ¿Qué cena? Cena para la noche. Karina said she had a big late lunch with arepas. Now arepas, okay, it's originated in Venezuela. Huh? She had it with ham and cheese. She had a ham and cheese arepa. Arepas were invented in Venezuela. But if you try to explain that to a Colombian, you're going to be spinning your wheels, because Colombians say they invented arepas, but they didn't. Venezuelans did. Andre, Diego, how much does it cost to apply for adjustment of status? The website says $1,450. That's the correct price. That's how. Let me see. It's 85. It's It's 1,400. I thought it was $1,440. So you got $10 too much. It's $1,440, not $1,450. Where'd you get $1,450 from? It's $1,440. So you're going to make out the check to U.S. Department of Homeland Security. U.S. Department of Homeland Security. Can't spell it. You're going to make out your check or your cashier's check to the U.S. Department of Homeland Security for your green card application or your K-1 visa. Do not abbreviate nothing. Don't abbreviate Department DPT or Homeland Security, Homeland SEC. If you do, your entire green card application will be sent back to you. You cannot abbreviate. When you fill out the check for your green card, you make it out to the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. No abbreviations. And the price for the green card for an adult is $1,440. Francois, I got it about the SC. I was asking about the certified copy of the divorce decree for the marriage license. When you go and apply for your marriage license, you don't need to bring with you a copy of your certified divorce decree because it's already going to be in their computer. I mean, you don't have to bring it. But you need to include it for the green card application. When you apply for the green card, when Hamid applies for his green card, you got to prove it. Francois, that's a super sticker from Francois for victory. Look at that. Francois, you get a double Mountain Dew salute for that super sticker. I like that. Victoria. It's Victoria. Francois, thank you. Thank you for everything, says Francois. Francois, we're here for you, okay? We're going to get you through this. When you get your green card, you're going to have such a big party, right? With Hamid. You're going to go out and celebrate. And guess what you're going to do when you go out and celebrate your green card? You're going to keep all the receipts from the dinner, from the event. Whatever you do between now and the next 2 years, you're going to get pictures together. You're going to go on vacation together. You're going to keep the receipts from the hotels. When you go take a trip to New York City and show Hamid the World Trade Center and the and the Statue of Liberty, and you take a riverboat ride, you take a boat ride around the Hudson River, you're going to keep all those receipts. You're going to get pictures on the ferry boat going from Staten Island to Manhattan. You're going to keep all this stuff, and you're going to put it in your green card application for the 10-year green card. Francois, you got to be focusing now on the 10-year green card application plus the 2-year. It's $1,440 for a green card application, including biometrics. Destiny's Room. Hi, Diego and Karina. What's going on, Destiny's Room? Andre, do you need to do a new medical exam for the adjustment of status? Yes, do. Get one. Get it done. When we arrived in America, the first thing I did was call the doctor up in Pensacola and say, hey, I need a medical exam for a green card application. And the doc said, okay. The administrative assistant said, okay, send me over Karina's vaccination documents. So I scanned them over. She looked at them. She said, okay, all her vaccinations are in order for a green card. I set the appointment. We drove over to Pensacola, and that's a long freaking drive in itself. We got the medical exam. It cost me $175. We repeated the medical exam. The doctor filled out the 693, or his administrative assistant filled out the 693, certified the 693 and the vaccinations, put it in a white envelope, sealed it and taped it, and put to U.S. CIS eyes only. That went in Karina's green card application. When she applies for her 10-year green card, she doesn't have to do that. You only do that for the K1 visa interview, and I strongly urge you to do it. Repeat the medical exam for the 2-year green card application. Some consular officers only want to see the vaccination certification. Some consular officers want to see a new medical exam and the vaccination certification. I say you do both. Pay the freaking money. Pay it. Just pay it and get it. And then you can go to bed at night and relax knowing you're not going to get an RFE on the medical. Just repeat the medical exam. But it has to be by a civil surgeon authorized by the State Department, and they're easy to find. And Francois, thank you for that fantastic super sticker, the Victory super sticker. Destiny's Room, I'm here with Zachariah. Zachariah, I'm so happy. Thank you for everything, says Francois. Destiny's Room, how are you, Francois? Are things okay? Francois is good. She's good. Joel Adams, do you legally change name with Social Security? Joe, no. You don't change your name with the Social Security Administration. You change your name on page 1 of Form 485. On page 1 of USCIS Form I-485, question 1A, what is your current legal name? Karina, middle name Ross. Question 2A, other names you have used since you were born. Karina, middle name, maiden name. So when you file for the green card, immigration is going to take this name right here, your new name that you took from your husband, and process your green card with your new name right here. Karina's green card came in with Karina Ross. Why did it say Karina Ross? Because on page 1 of the 485, that's where she put her name. Her legal name is Karina Ross. It's right there. Then, when you get the green card in your hand, you dash down to the Social Security Administration and say, here's my green card. Please adjust my status in the computer. So we went back to the Social Security Administration. Karina gave the gentleman her green card. He went in the computer and said, okay, Karina, in about a week, you're going to get a new Social Security card with your married name on it. And none of that verbiage that says work authorization only by Homeland Security approval or whatever that stuff says. Okay? So you got your green card. Karina Ross's name is on it. She went down to the Social Security Administration. I drove her there. And we updated her status in the computer. Karina is working. She's paying her FICA tax. She's paying her Medicare tax. She's paying her taxes, her federal tax, Okay, so Nancy Pelosi can keep having her vacations. She's paying her tax. And in January, she's going to get a W-2. And in January, we're going to file our taxes together as a joint return. Okay? This is how it works. So, Joe, the question is, do you legally change the name with Social Security? You do it once you get the green card. When you have the green card, you go back to Social Security office and say, here's my green card. Please send me a new Social Security card with my married name on it, and it will be in your mailbox in about a week to 10 days. Francois, hello, Destiny's Room. My Moroccan fiance is in the USA. Wedding coming up in 2 weeks. Destiny's Room, I'm so happy to hear that. Praise God. There you go. That's exactly right. Andre, Diego, is it true that now the temporary green card is good for 3 years? No, that's not true. The temporary green card is good for 2 years. You have to lift the conditions off the temporary green card 90 days before it expires. But what you're thinking about is this, Andre. What you are thinking about is this. If you are a 10-year green card holder, Karina's been in the United States forever. She's got a 10-year green card, and it's going to get ready to expire, and she applies for a new 10-year green card. They're taking a long time to process. So immigration is giving people who file Form I-90 to renew their 10-year green card an automatic 3-year extension on their, on the wait time. That's what you're thinking about. But the 2-year green card is a probationary green card. It's good for 2 years, not for 3 years. That is not correct. Destiny's Room, my Moroccan husband is here too. We are married. Yes, indeed, Destiny's Room. Andre, can a military doctor do the medical exam? No, a military doctor under TRICARE cannot do the medical exam for a green card applicant. I'm retired military. Okay, TRICARE will not cover it. Military doctor is not authorized by the U.S. State Department to do a green card medical exam. You have to find an independent civil surgeon authorized by the U.S. State Department to repeat the medical exam. I went to Pensacola, and got it done. It was $175. I could have took. I asked the same question. Can my military doctor at the Special Operations Command do it? They can't do it. It's got to be a civil surgeon the State Department authorizes, not a military doctor, unfortunately. Joel Adams. Okay, so that establishes the new name. Yeah, exactly right. Joel, you're top of the class today. You and Francois, top of the class. Francois, good night, Diego and Karina. Enjoy the Hardys tomorrow. Thank you, Francois. We appreciate you for that super sticker. Good night from Destiny's Room. Andre, when you get married, do you pay more or less taxes if she doesn't work? You file as a joint. You file jointly, so you pay less taxes. When you get married, you file a joint tax return. You pay less taxes. Okay? All right. Joel Adams, can you claim your wife as a dependent before the green card? If you are military, you go to the military base, so what you're going to do is you're going to get her social security number, you're going to get her passport, birth certificate. The birth certificate has to be translated into English by a certified translator with an ATA number, and you apply for her military ID card. You don't have to have the green card to get TRICARE, but you got to go back to the military base with the green card and the new social security number with the married name on it to update your TRICARE. Can you claim your wife as a dependent before the green card? Yes, you can. She needs to have medical, right? She needs to be on your medical, on your TRICARE. Good night, everybody. Chris Nemmel gets the last word. Thank you for the super stickers. Thank you for the super chat, Francois. And we will see you, what's today, Saturday? We'll be back Wednesday.